fired tomorrow at the cemetery will be with Civil War powder fired at the Battle of Shiloh. It's going to be a very moving experience for our battery. We fire 6 original guns, 4 Confederate, 2 Federal. We're a monument building camp of the Sons of Confederate Veterans. This cannon was issued to the Confederacy February 17, 1862, reported to Corinth, to Shiloh, back to Corinth. It was in the Battle of Tupelo, Battle of Chickamauga, captured at Missionary Ridge by Indiana troops, turned over to their battery and used against us to the end of the war. Taken home as a trophy of war. Became property in Indianapolis, Indiana of the Grand Army of the Republic. 1903, these old Yankee veterans are shooting a salute to Old Glory on the 4th of July. It misfires on the 2nd round. It blows this old Union soldier's hand off and he died the next day. So it became the last Confederate cannon to kill a damn Yankee. And in 1920, they sell the gun to raise money for Indiana monuments at Shiloh, Vicksburg, and Chickamauga. And that's the way it got into private hands to Mr. Weller in 1965, and to me as an inheritance gift in 1993.
Wow. That's amazing. Why is this important to come out here and celebrate the Hunley?
The reason it's important to come out here and celebrate the Hunley is because of duty. Robert E. Lee said duty is the greatest word in the English language. I believe it. I've lived it all my life. I've been in the Sons of Confederate Veterans 45 years, and my first reenactment was when I was 11 at Bryce's Crossroads, so this is my 50th anniversary. But it's important that we steadfast our heritage. In America now, our cultural symbols, our song Dixie is under attack. People say it offends them. Well, you know, the United States flag was misused. The Confederate flag is not a flag of blowing up churches with little children in it. It's a flag of honor. It was Christian men out defending their homes, their states, the right of a state to govern itself. When we joined this union, we did so for mutual protection, not for all of our states' rights to be consumed by a domineering federal government. And yes, there was slavery. And it should be noted that there was never a Southern slave ship. They were all Yankee, English, Spanish, Portuguese, Dutch, and French that brought the slaves to America. The first slavers were the Africans themselves, warring on their own people. And then the Yankees brought them here, did not acclimate in the North well, sold them to us, got their Yankee dollars out, and then shame on you, South, for owning slaves. You're these abolitionists. And we said, well, let's do like England did. In 22 years before our war, England taxed their people, paid the property owners, freed the slaves, but those tight-fisted Yankee New England liberal abolitionists weren't willing to pay 1 penny in taxes to free the slaves, but they weren't too proud to steal them, and they still brag about their Underground Railroads. So there was a way to avoid the slave issue. But there were other things like tariff. Man, they raised that tariff on us 16 times. If you grew 100 bales of cotton, 40 of them went to the federal government as taxes when we shipped them to England. What happened to those 40 bales? Not spent in the South. They went to the North and built infrastructure in the North. Now, you're hearing history here today from the Southern perspective. All you've read is what the Yankees wrote, the winners of the war. There's 2 sides to that war, my friend, and you need to hear it all. And besides that, this right of a state to govern themselves. Do you think that our people, we had 10% of our people own slaves. Did those other 90% of the people leave their homes, their families, to go out to fight for that 10% to own slaves? I don't think so. Here they came down here, they invaded our country. They occupied our country for 11 years and made us take that detestable oath of allegiance. Couldn't even buy a loaf of bread without swearing you had taken the oath. So our heritage is proud to us, just as proud, means as much to us as any other group of Americans. And if we're going to be inclusive in this country, it must include Southerners of Confederate descent, and we will wave our flags. We will play our song history, because that's who we are. And the rest of America, we love you, but just remember it takes those 13 stars out of our Confederate battle flag to make it a 50-star union. So treat us as citizens too. Thank you.